everybody. This is Tasha with Prepper'S and my fabulous co-hostess with the mostest mouse toes.
Hello.
So good to see everybody. Hi, Sandra. We'll give it a minute before we get started, just because Facebook's or YouTube's been real bad about not pushing out that we're live or we're going live. So we'll give it just a minute. But I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, y'all. I started a canning project and I could not quit in the middle of it. I had to wait until the timer went off. And plus I'm trying to video each step as well. So that's real fun. But I got my canner off. Hey, CR. Got my canner off. And so it's all good. It's all bueno. But we were blessed to be gifted some fresh garden green beans and a couple of days ago. And I had to get those processed. I didn't want them going bad on me because that's just wasteful.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. How have you been?
I've been good, but hot. It's not like even in the 90s, but I think our humidity is like 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
You just feel like a wash rag that's been wrung out, after you wash your face before you go to bed at night.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's taken an enormous amount of motivation to do things, because if I just walk to the dock, to do screen porch fishing, as I call it, where I can see it from my screen porch, you just break out in a sweat, or you go check your tomatoes, because with all the heavy rain we've been getting for 3 days, all of a sudden you've got to pick them before they literally pop, because it's too much water.
Yeah.
And it's just taken a lot of motivation to do it. And because in South Carolina on the coast, see, we're at the end of our growing season. I'm watching other people getting their broccoli and their cauliflower and their stuff and cabbage ready. I can't do that because August is going to be hotter than now. And it's like, so it's like an in-between lull where you've had beautiful flowers in your vegetable garden and your okras growing and your tomatoes, and then everything's like, it just kind of stops.
It just comes to a screeching halt.
Yes.
Hey, Hillbilly. Good to see you. Don't know why. This is
And our Sandra Moody, the nicest person on the planet. Oh, Lord, it's the queen of the flats, also known as Lids, the suburban hillbilly.
When I was videoing what I was doing earlier, I accidentally said flat, so I have to go back and edit it. Hey, Kathleen. Mouse toes will get me. My sensei will get me.
Yes. Hey, Kathleen. Because this is what happens, Tasha. I get emails, right? Okay, so I used my flat, and I'm not sure if my ring buckled it on my, what do they call it? They don't say jar, my canning jar. So I'm like, okay, what is the flat? And your ring flattened it. And then, of course, I have to send one. And then 2 days later, they'll respond, the lid. Okay, so let's use words I understand. So I read it. And do I have to write the edge of my jar? What's the rim of your jar? Yeah, but if you got a chunk of carrot sitting on one of the threads, you want to wipe that. It makes me crazy because I speak English and Spanish, but you have to commit to one of them with words that I understand. It's not like I'm speaking Southern English, yes.
And it's like you have to get, like with the canning, you have to get like where you're in this groove. I have got to put my checklist up there and do every jar that way, because a couple of times I had forgotten to wipe my rims with the vinegar. I was like, luckily I think they'll be okay, but if not, well, it's my fault.
Yeah, it is. You get into a groove, and it's why you have to be in the mood that day. But if your green beans are ready to go, they're ready to go, and you got to get in the mood, right? And Hillbilly says she hasn't made the first petcock comment. I say it's a petcock, but it's not. Okay.
Petcock, but it's not. Yeah. Hey, Bug Dude. If I didn't say hi, I'm sorry. I meant to say hi. I didn't want to interrupt. I didn't want to be rudest interruptus.
Yeah, because we already sound rude because we both have slow internets. And this is how, my husband was a DOD contractor in Iraq. He wasn't in the military. And so when we would talk, it'd be like, he would, I'd finish hearing what he was saying, but when it got to him, I was talking over his last words. And that's what happens to Tasha and I, that slight DSL
Lag.
kind of leg. Sometimes I look like a bobblehead. It's just we
Hi,
sound
Angela.
rude and we're not even trying to talk over each other.
Yeah, I know. We don't mean to, but it happens.
Yeah.
Welcome, Angela. Okay, so today's topic is consistency and persistency, and mental health in tough times. So I know that's a lot of words there. Hey, Mayhem, good to see you. So, anyways, Mayhem's the one that did my intro video, Mouse.
Oh, Mayhem rules. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. It's fan. I love it. I watch it like 3 times. I refresh when I open the YouTube site because I like it. It's what we do. It is what we prepare for and prep
Yeah.
for it all. Says it all for me. So
Hey, Teresa Lovespins. Good to see you.
hey, Teresa. Yeah, see, Hillbilly feels me. We can't plant broccoli and stuff till November,
Yeah, it's too hot here too. Hey, Ginger.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Okay, so our topic is, being consistent and persistent and also dealing with mental health. Hey, Bob. Bada bing Bob's in the house. Good to see you, Bob. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about mental health. I know that Pinball Preparedness talked on this. I didn't see his video, but somebody mentioned it. But we've also had with some different people that that I deal with either online or in my personal life has dealt with here in the last 2 weeks is threats of suicide. And that's a very serious topic, and I am definitely not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, so please do not think I'm giving any kind of medical advice, because I am not, okay? I'm just a person who cares, who loves people, and whenever people already deal with mental health issues like that, oh, that's your wheelhouse, Teresa? Awesome.
Okay, Tasha, heads up. Hold on. She's crazy. Go ahead.
Oh, that's what it is. It's not that she's a psychologist or a psychiatrist. She's just crazy like the rest of us. Well,
yes, these are people.
she's our peeps. She's our peeps.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So I have a close friend whose son threatened to hang himself about a week ago. Well, almost 2 weeks ago. And then I also, because of relationship issues, and then I had another friend who also had a loved one that had threatened that. So it's a very tough topic. My son has also had issues with mental health issues. And so these are things, and I struggle with depression too because of my chronic pain and all of that. It's hard sometimes. But
Yeah.
I will say this. When you have an idle mind and you're sitting idly, that's when all of those negative thoughts really start to sink in on you and start to take root. So think of each of those negative thoughts like a seed that's being planted in you. And, me as a person of faith, when I start to get those negative thoughts anymore, I tell it to go away in the name of Jesus. I don't accept that in Jesus' name. For those that don't have faith, you still can tell those thoughts, go, go. I'm not having anything to do with you. You're not taking root, because all it is just, it's like a spirit of negativity, and I don't want, any of you to fall into that. Okay. So if you're consistent and persistent, even on days when you feel really down, and it's okay to take a down day, folks. It's okay to take a down day and say, I just needed a mental health break day. Veg out on the couch, read a book, whatever you want to do. But then also remember, don't just sit and wallow in that, because if you do, you can have a good cry. You call a friend and talk to them and just really thank you for the reminder, Sandra. I'll put on my banner. But always remember to hop back up and get back to it, because if you don't, then what happens is that really does have a chance to take root and then grow. Okay. And you don't want that. So keep yourself busy. I have to make myself, yesterday, I did not feel like doing a doggone thing at all. And, but I had stuff I had to process. I had jalapeno peppers I needed to get processed, and I did not want to see them ruin. I had other things I had to get done. And you know what? I felt better when I made myself go ahead and get up and get started, because then my mind was busy and I felt good about myself that I was getting something accomplished that's positive for my family. And a lot of times, those of us who do have depressive issues, we also have self-esteem issues. We get down on ourselves, because maybe, especially if you have health issues and you struggle a lot with being able to get accomplished what you want to get accomplished. But if you now refer to your kitchen as the break room, Suburban, yeah, it was nice to just know I had to sit there and watch that canner for 20 minutes and I couldn't leave the room. I was just like making sure it didn't drop below my 11 pounds of pressure, for my green beans. So it was kind of nice. So I just sat and kind of chilled for a minute and collected my thoughts. But what are your thoughts on some of this, Mouse? What do you think?
We had talked about talking about this after I did the how to stay motivated on Sutton Stage Chat, and we talked about it would be a good segue to it because, like I just said, it's really hot here. It's the end of the growing season. As my tomatoes come in, I get them into the Ziplocs and they're in the freezer. And every time I add another Ziploc full, I go, "Woo, I'll be processing tomatoes soon," right? So, but of course, I can do that in the air conditioning with Fred the fan on me. And I had a day, I did not want to make chicken stock yesterday, but I needed to reorganize my chest freezer as I keep adding redfish and a couple more bags of tomatoes for when I have a big batch to, do through my Victorio and then make tomato sauce and tomato juice. That
I love making tomato sauce.
But I had so many bags of stock discards, the carrots, the onion skins, some celery, that, and then a bunch of chicken carcasses that Vern, cooks them on the grill and then he crushes them for me. But I was so not in the mood to do it. But this is how I always think. You can do it because you're so used to it. And just like you with not wanting those green beans to go bad, I just had to push myself to do it. And I've never been a depressed person, but I also will not hang out with people who I consider toxic, if that makes sense. I've talked about this in other chats. I've kind of you find out as you get older that you're there for a lot of people, but when you need somebody there for you, I'm not talking to give you a ride somewhere in the car, but if you needed to vent or something, they're not really there for you. And you find out it's kind of a one-way thing. So people who bring me down, I will not, I won't hang with them. And I just say, oh, I can't go to coffee this week or go to a pastry shop. I don't hurt their feelings, right? But I just let them go. And I don't care if it's a family member. I've talked about, we went to a Christian marriage counselor psychiatrist on year 8 of marriage. I've been married 40, so he was good. And he said, you don't have to play with people who are toxic, even if they're a family member.
Right.
I cannot carry somebody else's water, right? And we certainly understand people can be overcome in a drug addiction and that mental illness is real and that is no joke. But I just push myself to keep on because I got stuff to do. Now, I have an old lady down in the sofa aisle day where I'm the old lady down in the sofa aisle just watching BS Lifetime movie networks, or I'm playing just ridiculous Facebook games or bingo online and just basically wasting my time. But I need a day to lay the old bones down.
Yeah.
So
we all need those down days.
Yes.
But you called it emotional vampires, didn't you? People who will drain the life out of you. Like I'm good whenever I have a friend that needs to just vent or something. And I've dealt with that for the last few days. And that's cool because there's days like some things that I'd recently gone through. I needed my time to vent and they were there for me. But like, you have to work on being an encourager for that person and not giving them, it's okay to feel compassion for that person and to allow them to vent to you. But then you need to help them maybe try to find steps to think in a more positive line of thought. And then if they just can't get in a positive line of thought, then maybe then it's time, you say, listen, I'm not equipped for this. I'm not professionally equipped for this. I think you might want to see about going and seeing a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a counselor. And if they're really down, will you put this number in the side chat for me? The National Suicide Prevention Hotline. It is 1-800-273-8255. National Suicide Prevention Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. I think it's really important. Really, I think we should all save that in our phones. If you have a cell phone, save it in your phone. And that way you have it handy to give to somebody should they need it, or to call if you're really concerned about somebody, their mental health. I think, yeah. Stop giving out your number, Threads and Jars says.
Oh my God, Morgan.
Oh, Morgan, I love you. I'm just saying. See, and just like that, a comment like that can take a heavy conversation and lift it right back up. It just skyrockets it. And that's important. Sometimes you need that friend that you just call and they just make you laugh. You know what I mean? Yes. But if you build healthy habits, and this is what I've had to figure out, if you build healthy habits, taking care of yourself, brush your hair, brush your teeth, get dressed,
Yes.
Plan a couple of things to do that day, or even if you just make a list and pick one thing that you would like to get done, maybe something that's driving you crazy that just really nags at you, and just focus on that. I find that if I do that and I accomplish that one thing, I feel so much better. I feel better about myself. I feel like my problems aren't so insurmountable, because that's a lot of it, and we really need to work on how to manage those things now in whatever way that we can, that is not going to cause us to be dependent on alcohol or like illegal drugs and stuff. But we need to learn how to manage that now and get that taken care of now, because if there's a true SHTF scenario or Teotihuacan scenario, what are you going to do? Look into things like natural herbs and things like that, things that can help relax you, really draw down anxiety, things like that. I can't give you those herbals or things because that would be giving out medical advice. But you can Google it, peeps. All you got to do is Google essential oils or herbs for anxiety, depression, to help calm, to help relax, things like that. There's one herb out there that tranquilizers initially came from, and they mimicked it off of that. So you just do your own research. I promise you, it's not hard. It's a Google away, and you'll be able to find those things and write those down. Start working on growing those items. Start working on making tinctures and other things out of those items, if you try them and they work for you, so that you have them on hand as a replacement if you need to in a Teotihuacan situation. Some people might find they're more effective than the medications that they've been on for it, but I'm not giving medical advice, so understand that. Always check with your doctor.
We don't play them here on YouTube either.
That's right. You check with your physician and your psychiatrist or whoever it is that prescribes medications for you. Check on that, and check with them before you start anything like that, because different herbs can interact with different medications and things like that. You do not want to be in that situation. So always check with your physician. So it's good to do your research now. Check with your physician if you're wanting to try something out. Make sure it's safe and okay, along with your medical conditions. and such and medications, and then give it a try and see, sometimes it takes some trial and error to see what works for you. Red Burning Fires made a great point. Playing music helps me to get motivated to work at home, especially if I'm fighting depression. Mayhem Studio also made a great point that when he goes out and does really hard yard work and he's out there working, it releases endorphins, y'all.
Yes.
That feel good chemical that goes to you. Exercise, any kind of exercise will do that. So it's a great way to really alleviate some of that frustration and stuff that's going on, because it releases good chemicals in your body.
Mm-hmm.
You chose alcohol and stargazing, but for the last 15 years, you've let go of the alcohol crutch. Well, good. I'm glad you've let go of the alcohol crutch. But keep up with the stargazing. That's one of my favorite things to do as well. So, yeah. So you also need to be thinking about things that you can do in a Teotihuacan situation, or if we end up in another situation, we'll call it the coof coop, where you're not allowed to go anywhere or do anything. We'll call it the coof coop, okay? So if you end up in another coof coop up situation, then you've got to make sure now that we learned from that situation before, have things on hand, puzzles, books, games. What are some other things that we discussed? Whether it's like craft projects or wood projects or metal projects, whatever it is. A Teotihuacan situation is the end of the world as we know it. The end of the world as we know it. All of those letters put together, Teotihuacan. Cards, yes. Different things like that you can have on hand to help occupy your time. Because again, remember, if you don't occupy your time and your mind, that's when your mind thoughts start going down and you start really getting back into that. And I like coloring books too, Ginger Ninja, and they have adult coloring books, and they have all kinds of cool colors of crayons. Now they even have skin colored ones, which covers a large gamut of colors of people. And I think it's beautiful because, everybody wants to have a color that looks more like them when they're trying to color themselves or their family. You know what I mean? So yep. Anyway, all of those things. Find a word. Yes, Mouse. Look for things like that can help occupy your time and your mind. During that time, also think about your prepping, because you can be going through, hey, SOP, good to see you. You can be going through your pantry if you don't have a current, oh, what do you call it? Current list of all of your items, inventory. If you don't have a current inventory, do an inventory. You need to be doing that anyway. I need to be doing that. I need to redo mine, okay? Because it's always changing. Stuff's going in and out, and sometimes people forget to write stuff down. So yes. Going through your inventory, going through and seeing where you're lower in your preps. All of those things occupy your time. You feel productive. You feel like you're accomplishing something that's good for your family. And being prepared brings some peace. At least it does for me. Like Mouse and I were talking about on the phone earlier, or on messages. She was saying how, if you got your food, water, shelter covered, that sure brings a lot of peace of mind. So just remember that. Exactly. I'm not saying Teotihuacan is going to happen in our lifetime. I'm just saying, if it were to happen,
I went to go mute myself on the StreamYard side.
And did what? And did what?
I got drama.
How did you get drama?
Fixed it, I think.
There we go. Hi, Carolyn Lowe.
Sorry. Now I
Hey,
can't hear it.
Stephanie.
What is the problem?
So anyway, sometimes, oh, SOP, he's talking about how many jars of split pea soup you have on the shelf there, Mouse.
And let me tell you about Dave. Dave will never see one or try to molest it either. It's just stuck in his head that they're there.
That's right.
That's right. I like what Sandra said, be careful who you hang out with if you're feeling down. You don't need someone that'll push your head under the mud, someone to jump in the mud with you, pull you out and wrench you off. And we've talked about that, and I talked about it on Sutton's Days too, is I'm not going to sit here and watch hours of prepping channels on the sun's going to explode, where the earth is turned on its axis.
Hallelujah, girl.
I can't do nothing about none of that. And like Tasha said earlier, I have a Bible that says page 1, what he's built will not be put asunder like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm not putting that stuff in my head. Doesn't mean, isn't this interesting? Gravity works all the time, right? The Bible isn't a scientific book, but when it addresses science, it's accurate, right? He taught us how to take care of dead bodies, right? And the disease that comes from it. Mm-hmm. So I don't sweat those things, but I cannot sit on my butt 6 hours a day and watch different chats. I may just be able to go in a chat and hit the thumbs up, right? Because you have to actually do it. Tasha was a few minutes late because she was finishing canning green beans. What's more important, being a few minutes late for a live chat where we're talking about something serious and we're keeping ourselves motivated, or actually getting something ready and out of her canner to put on her shelves to stock it. So we can learn anything we want on the YouTubes, right? Mm-hmm. Or we can watch depressing maudlin stuff and it'll make us feel like we're doing something. But if you ain't canned green beans or put some up or brought some, from a Thrive or something, are you really preparing? Are you just running in place? And that would make me depressed. Because just like we said, if we get cooped up again, we've already done that one time. And we've talked about this on Southern Ohio Preppers for years in the side chat and him on the panel. Preparing is its own mental preparedness. So I didn't enjoy when the first coop came, but I didn't have to go, oh my God, I need food, shelter, and water, right? And what am I going to cook? And, we eat at McDonald's every day. So those things we were already prepared for. We just had to make the adjustment. And I thank God every day I live on a tidal creek and I got a kayak. And the way I could get out of my house was to go fishing. And I had a girlfriend who came and went fishing in her own kayak with me. So that was nice company, but I would have done it myself. So you just can't spend all your time. There's nothing wrong with watching this live chat. There's no better Monday at 7:30 than Sutton's Days chat. Or when I want to dehydrate something, or say Vern brings something home from the store, can I dehydrate that? I don't think I want to can it. I go right to the Purposeful Pantry and I look up the item that I have. So I'm not only am I going to watch that and make notes and give myself directions, but that day or the next, I'm going to dehydrate it so that I'm always doing something, It's just the way I'm going to use it. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And again, you feel better when you actually do it. Why? If you've watched 50 videos on canning green beans and you haven't done it yet, another video ain't going to encourage you to do it. I mean, at some point, you've got to just put your big boy, big girl panties on, whatever, and get to it. And you realize it's not as scary as you think it's going to be if you get it done. And then you're so proud of yourself.
Yes.
You're so proud of yourself that you
and if you're looking at a canner in a box, sell it, put it on Facebook Marketplace, and you haven't opened it, sell it to somebody who'll actually use it. But don't just go, because I hear it all the time. Well, I've had one for a year, or I got one last year and it took 6 months to get it in the mail. Pass it on to somebody who'll use it, and we know those things. that you've got to keep yourself motivated. You have to be motivated. There's nothing better than having green beans or sweet taters in a canning jar. You know what I mean? I'll take out a pound, make a meatloaf, and I can have either one of those or both with it. And it just makes things easier, not thinking, oh gosh, we don't have any ground beef in the house. You know, Sandra Moody calls that sucking it up. Suck it
That's
up, put
right.
on, get it done. Yeah.
Suck it up, buttercup. That's what my husband always says. Suck it up, buttercup.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I know sometimes if you're down so far, like that you cannot get yourself out of that rut, like you just are constantly, if you're thinking about harming yourself or harming somebody else, it's time to go get some help.
Yes.
It's nothing to be ashamed of. You go and you get some help. And I'm going to leave this National Suicide Prevention Hotline up for just a little bit. That way, I would like everybody that's watching this to please put that in their phones. Oh my gosh, Morgan. Oh.
Morgan, you are wise. If I was going to call anybody in the pit, it would pretty much be you. So, you know, that's what you do. And at least you made it pink for you since you're a girly girl and all that.
That's right. And listen, you can, there are essential oils and things like that that can help brighten up your mood and stuff. But like I said, if you're really feeling so far down that you do not want to live anymore, go get some professional help. Please go get some professional help. Do not, please do not take your life. Please do not take your life, okay? Or hurt somebody else.
Yes.
You know, because we love you. And I'm just going to say this, whether somebody wants me to be religious or not, God loves you. And even if you don't feel like he does, he does. And I just want to see you healthy and happy. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. There used to be such an astigmatism with people who had sought help for depression and anxiety, and it's not so much anymore. And you just need to go and get the help. It's okay.
Yes.
Go get the help. I had to. I had my son, and I went through postpartum depression, and I had thoughts where it come to my head, I could just drive right off that ravine.
Yes.
And it would be done. But you know, my faith is what kept me going, and it was good to go and get some help. And you know, when I'm feeling down, I do, and I think it's important. I think it's important for everybody to do that.
Yep. And you were able to actually say it out loud. And I like what Hillbilly said. Personally, I'm not suicidal or depressed. I'm angry. I am your angry sister.
Yeah.
And that, I think, has really set things off in the last few weeks with talking about cooping us up again and the face thing. People are mad. Okay. We've done this one time. Okay. And we're all in shock and awe. And it happened all around the world.
Yeah.
And if it ain't an N95 mask, that's all I got to say. I'm not going to jeopardize Tasha's channel.
Thank you.
But if that doesn't make people mad, but people can confuse that with being depressed or sad about it, right?
Yeah.
We did it one time, and we can do it again. I don't think Americans are going to do it again, right? Now, we don't have any food shortages or things that are happening in other parts of the country here. And yes, amen, God is good, Carolyn, and always.
Amen. And threads and jars, we know you're not making light of depression and stuff like that.
No.
Girl, we know that. We get you. We got you, girl. We got you. Lori says that welcome Lori, by the way. She says she works at mental health clinic for sexual assault and domestic abuse. Trauma causes so many problems in your life. Yeah. And like, you know, I used to watch Dr. Phil a long time ago, and I'm not always his favorite fan, but one of the things that I like what he says is, especially for a child that's still developing, it writes on the slate of who they are when they go through a traumatic situation. And it does for us as adults too, but their brains, you know, from the way I've learned it, their brains are still developing until the age of 25. Okay. So they're not even their brains are not fully formed until the age of 25. So
Mhm.
anything traumatic that really happens up until that point really does, right. It's what the brain's still being programmed and stuff in a sense. So
Mhm.
it really can write on it. So they need somebody professional to
Yes.
go and help them work on that wiring, so to speak,
Mhm.
to help them understand why they're feeling the way they're feeling. Because you speak about anger, but a lot of people, they express sadness and
Yes.
frustration as anger. So anyway, like I said, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, so I'm not giving any medical advice. That's why you go and you see your doctor, talk to them,
Mhm.
and also the National Suicide Prevention Hotline is right there. So don't
But
forget that.
you have to, like a child, learn to, at some point, we learn to self-soothe ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to suck my thumb at this age, but I'll go in and I'll go through my little, I keep a plastic dish drain with all of my A seeds, B, C, D, broccoli seeds in little Ziplocs, right? And I will spend a couple hours going through that, right? Make sure
Yeah.
everything's organized. I can do things that make me feel better. Like I
Right.
talked about 2 weeks ago, I've already ordered seeds for next year because last year was very hard to find seeds and the cost was ridiculous. So I don't think
Right.
they're going to go cheaper, right?
Yeah.
But you can maybe start some seeds
Yeah.
inside. You have to do things that make you happy and make you feel like you're moving forward. But,
Right.
and I've talked about this with my niece before, who was just raised by Vern's brother, right, without a mom. And she'd come and she'd be pouting on the sofa. And I said, "What's wrong?" She'd say, "You should know." And I said, "Well, you look very angry." "I am extremely sad." And she wasn't. She was mad because when we went to the store, I said, "If you're well behaved, then we'll get a malt or a sundae from McDonald's on the way home." And
Right.
she wasn't very good and she was poorly behaved. So I swung in and got myself a strawberry shake and drank it on the way home. So I said, "What you are is disappointed in your behavior and you're angry, but you're directing your anger at me. These were the
Mm-hmm.
rules and you broke them." Kids don't know the right words. And kids who have been watched domestic violence or violence in their home, they've proven it breaks something in their brain.
Yeah.
It's why they're so quick to lash out, right? It's no big deal. Women get knocked around or women run after a man with a knife. You do what you see. So we know, and just like Morgan said, none of us are making light of it. We're talking about, in our cases, of how we can motivate ourselves with the depression of the news, skyrocketing prices. I think the biggest fear people have, and it's a fear, is that they'll lose their job again. You know what I mean? Or not have a paycheck coming in for 2 or 3 weeks, and the financial stress that comes with it. So, but you have to know what you're feeling. Sometimes this is how I feel. I'm old and I'm tired. Okay. I am 64 years old. And then it's just like, I'm just not going out there to get me a line in the water, right? Or I'm going to save my energy and rest because I'm going to go mad kayaking and blue crabbing tomorrow if the
Yeah.
weather cooperates. So we have to face those things. If my knee is hurting and I've had 2 surgeries on it, I'm going to be doing things where I'm sitting here at my computer. It might be organizing my emergency meals, how to use the food I have, my
Right.
recipes. It might be organizing seeds, thinking of what I need to order, and then asking Vern, when can I order that? When's the best time financially to do it? So, but I don't have to go around going, "Oh, my knee's killing me." It's kind of apparent I'm sitting down and I have ice on it, right? 20 on, 20 off or something.
Yeah.
So, but if we can use the correct word, if I'm sad, I'm frustrated, I'm
Yeah.
old, I'm tired, or it's freaking hot and I just don't want to, if we can just use the actual words, it'll help us to realize we are not depressed or anything like that.
Yeah. Hey, P2E. Yes, in the stigma. Hashtag in the stigma. Okay, some great points. Stephanie said, turn off the TV. And that's true. The TV or the internet, if it's causing you to have so much anxiety and you're
Yes.
just feeling dread and threat and all of that all the time and anxiety, you need to turn it off for your mental health. You
Hmm.
need to do it. Turn it off. Tell somebody if there's something really major that actually happens, not something that might or is coming in a week or whatever. You tell them if there's something major that happens that I need to know about, like a September 1/1 situation, something like that, let me know. Otherwise, I've got to take a break. I've got to take a mental health break from the media. Okay. Another thing was CR was talking about being creative or helping others, those kinds of things, helping to boost his mood. Stephanie puts her hands in the dirt. It's different for everybody. What brings you joy? What brings you peace? What brings you or reduces your stress? What brings you relaxation, both physically and mentally? You know, is it exercising, going out and exercising? Is it gardening? Is it fishing? Is it hunting? Is it surrounding yourself with pretty flowers like, don't just close everything off and sit in a dark, when you're feeling down, do not do that. Do not close yourself off in a dark, gloomy environment. Open up those curtains unless it's like a bajillion degrees outside and it feels like the surface of the sun. Okay. Open up those curtains and get yourself a bouquet of flowers or set some things out that make you happy, that you enjoy looking at. Pictures of your grandkids, your kids, your loved ones, whatever it is that makes you happy, something funny quotes. Like if you have to put funny quotes on paper and tape them up all over your wall with tape that doesn't ruin your walls, by the way, otherwise you'll be sad again. Do that. Scriptures, whatever it is that lifts your spirits. Surround yourself with them.
P2, we get it's easier said than done, but we're talking like in our case, like without a mental illness or something that needs medication, but you can try those things first, right? Like I don't want to get gloomy. The anger of what situations are, these kind of things, we can all be frustrated, but we do have to have a plan to deal with it. And to me, prepping was we're ready for almost anything. Now, if a tornado takes my house, my jars are going to be all out there. That just is what it is. But we can at least be prepared for the majority of things. But we also have to be prepared to encourage ourselves. And I like what Teresa Loves Pim said, you make the rules in your own life. You don't have to surround yourself with toxic people. Like if I'm not watching the sun's blowing up and the earth's losing its magnetic field, prepping channels, and somebody sends me emails, or if somebody has my cell phone is sending it to me, I'll be like, STFU. Okay, I don't want to hear it. If I did, I wouldn't be watching it. And they'll be like, oh, it upset me. Then quit watching it. Don't dump your load on me. I ain't fixing to carry your crazy water. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Demeter says that 3 days a week, she shuts everything off and her kids don't like it, but she loves it. Also, what was it? I've got this streak across my screen, y'all. I'm sorry. Let's see. Prepper 101, you and your mother-in-law, let me tell you. Oh, somebody said mention getting in the sun. Yes. And that's another thing. If you're having constant feelings of like just depression or feeling down or low, you go to your doctor. My doctor told me that sometimes it can be vitamin deficiencies and mineral deficiencies, things like that. So my doctor runs lab work and stuff too. So because of a medical condition I have, hi, Arc Wildman Survival. Good to see you, bud. One of the things that my health issue, I have a genetic issue, is that my body doesn't want to absorb B12. D3 is also another issue. So I have to supplement that with certain special kinds of vitamins and stuff. So, it could be a physiological issue that's causing a psychological or a mental response. So go to your doctor, talk to them. If you haven't had lab work and stuff done, you need to go get it done, get it checked out, make sure all of that stuff's good. If all that stuff's good and you're still feeling down, your doctor may choose to try you on something for a short period of time and see if it'll work. Um,
And
you
for
know,
men, it can be hormonal as well. Remember, low
yeah,
testosterone. They're not actually depressed or sad. They're freaking exhausted
yeah,
because of that lack. And those blood works will show that. And I like what Teresa just said. You can prepare for any disaster till you're blue in the face, but if you're not mentally prepared, all that work's been in vain. You have to find ways to relax. And then, so a lot of times you go get that blood work and you find out that's hormonal or something that can be corrected. And it also could be diet. Some people, women in particular, will produce too much iron and they actually get vertigo and dizzy. And then, I'd be afraid to go down my stairs like that, right? What if I fall down the stairs?
yeah,
So I think, but you have to find what's for you. But there is absolutely no worry in taking medication for something, even if it's bipolar. It's a chemical thing. You
yeah,
didn't cause it. You're not broken, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I have two children and both of them have a form of bipolar.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I
Oh,
think they got it from my dad's side of the family, to be truthful. But I think it's important that you visit with your doctor, because your doctor can rule out the natural stuff that might be causing it, and the hormonal stuff. I mean, it's a lot of the mental stuff still a chemical imbalance, is what my doctor told me. Oh, mouse toes. Oh, show us.
that's for Teresa. Yep.
Allergic to stupid people. Yes.
Teresa just said she's allergic to morons. So I
Oh
thought,
my
look at
gosh,
my
that's why my head's been so stopped up and my throat's been scratchy. I'm surrounded
uh,
by stupid people. No, I'm just
and
kidding.
you can't fix stupid people. Life is hard. It's even harder
Oh
when
gosh.
you're stupid. But and it's the one thing that we do enjoy about positive side chats and stuff, right?
Right.
Whether you're in a wheelchair, whether you have one leg, whether you have a prosthetic leg, whether you have a vision impairment, you can still do things. I get very
Mhm.
tired of the things, you got to be physically fit. I'm 64. I'm not fixing to get some guns. Okay.
You have
So,
better guns than I do. My guns hang down.
okay. But it's
My
like
guns are saggy.
yeah, you start where you are, right? We are
Yeah.
sisters. Teresa loves Pims. I adore you. And that conversation we had text message was so uplifting to me. My face hurt from smiling. And we stayed
Oh.
up too late, but it was like so positive in a, biblical sense of talking about things. But you do the best you can where you are and in the shape you are. That's all you can do. That's
That's
all
right.
we can do. But I'm not going to toxic side chats, where somebody's going to call me stupid or insult each other. And that's why, like, we don't do it, right?
Yeah.
Is we only have an hour, right? Tasha
Mhm.
was canning green beans. I've still got to fix my legend for my chest freezer. I can do an hour, right? And it's all inspiring. I love to see threads and jars in a side chat. If I think about her, I smile. Same thing with Teresa, the crazy hillbilly with her flats. Okay. I mean, she's wrong, but I adore her, right? It's like other people are pushing in the heat. Like Hillbilly said, tomorrow's going to be 100 degrees, but she's got to get out there and get it done. Now, it'll take us longer. I take a lot more breaks under the shade of my raised house and drink a lot more water with an electrolyte powder in it. So I know how to pace myself. But don't let people say you're not physically fit enough or you don't dehydrate and you can't do it. Yes, you can. You do the things that can get you through this next cooped up thing, right? And you do not play with turds. Okay.
Yeah.
Do not play with toxic people. You ain't nobody need that in their life. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and nothing like a great like if you do go through something and it weeds people out in your life, for me, it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, but I just praise the Lord that God weeded out the people that were not my real friends in the first place, that did not have my best interests at heart in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that happened to me recently, and I just praise the Lord. He's separating the wheat from the tares. I don't have to. I don't have to wonder if this person is faithful to me. I don't have to wonder if this person has my back and has my best interests at heart. I just know that I mean, if somebody's going to believe rumors about you without even checking with you, then
Yes.
and I don't have hard feelings. I forgive everybody for it. Don't get me wrong. And I will love them. If they come over and they want to, be good and stuff, that's great. It'll going to take me a long time to trust again, though. But I will still love them. But what I'm saying is, I know the people that stood with me and had my back.
Yes.
I know the people that stood with me and had my back and did not just take somebody else's word for something. They came to me and we discussed it.
Like
And
adults.
yeah, like adults, and that's just it. And I appreciate each person that did stick with me, by the way. I appreciate each of you. I love you, and I'm so thankful for each of you. You brighten my day. You make my day so much brighter, and I love you.
This is what I love about caller ID. Back in my day, we answered the phone on a cord hooked on the
Oh yeah.
wall. Didn't know who the hell was calling, right? So
Hmm.
I got girlfriends, and I'll open it and go, yeah, not today. Okay, just ain't in the mood. It's a wackadoodle conversation. It's never encouraging. We got nothing in common. I only have one girlfriend who can come to my house without calling. I may be Southern, but you don't just roll in my yard and up the back steps, right? Because I may be a cranky McFanky. I may be old lady down in the sofa aisle. And that one girlfriend will come in and go, oh, old lady down the sofa aisle, want me to make you a shake? She knows I always in the summer, Kevin buys me a lot of ice cream
Yeah.
so that I can make a malt because it's hot, right?
Yeah.
And she will come in, make us each a malt, right, with my carnation instant breakfast, clean up the damn mess, and then leave. I'm not in the mood, right? But sometimes she'll show up coming up the stairs crying. So I'm there for that. And I'm still not getting off her sofa for that. She'll have to sit on the coffee table, find her own Kleenex, and I'll listen. But other than that, that's the only person who can show up unannounced. Because if I'm out there digging in that garden or I'm fishing and I'm just sitting out there listening to nothing, I do not need somebody nattering in my ear. I chose
Yeah.
to sit on the dock by myself or go fishing by myself. So you
Thank
have to
you.
protect your own time and your
Yeah,
own company.
you do. And that's another thing. I'm going to do a quick announcement real quick. I'm not going to do nightly late nights anymore. I'm going to do late night live stream where we just have fun on Mondays and Fridays, midnight. So it'd be into Tuesday morning and Saturday morning on Eastern time, 11 Central, Monday night and Friday night. And then we'll do our Wednesday night live stream here, me and Mouse, at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. And that way I can devote more time to my family, more time to doing what I need to do in the garden, getting
Mhm.
stuff done around here. So, I just wanted to say that. Yes, P2E, there has been a lot of division, but I just need everybody to know that I love each of you, even the ones that said negative things. I love each of you. You're welcome back here as long as you're not here to cause trouble. Um, and if you do cause trouble, then I'm just going to keep you at an arm's length. I'm just going to keep you away because I'm not going to deal with that. And this channel is about positivity, about loving each other, about helping each other. And so if you're coming over here, it's because you want to learn something or you want to help one of us learn something. Okay, that's what we're here for. We don't want anybody coming over here and speaking negatively about another channel or another person. We don't know what that person's going through in their personal life. They could be on the verge of suicide, and we're not going to
Yes.
be the ones to cause that to happen. But I will
Mhm.
say this: if you are struggling with thoughts of suicide and you have people that depend on you, I want you to think about this. You love them enough that you would die for them. I know you do. Do you love them enough to live for them? Do you love them enough to seek help so that you can live for them and be there for them? Okay. Um, that's what I'm going to say about that. Let's see. If you're really down, make that call. Make that call and get some help so that you can live for your family, you can live for yourself. Because I always think if you've got breath in you, then you've got a purpose in this life.
Yes.
Okay?
Hmm.
Um again,
And also,
this is my faith. I
hmm
believe okay, Southern Ohio prepping, I will. I believe that God created us, and I believe that he had a purpose and a plan for each one of us. So that's me, that's my faith. I'm not trying to shove it down your throats, but I believe that if I still have breath in my body, I have a purpose. I don't care if you're 99 years old, okay? If you
yep.
still have breath in your body, you still have purpose. Okay?
Hmm.
I don't care if you're stuck in a wheelchair. I don't care what the situation is. If you have breath in your body, you have purpose. So get help. Okay? Get help.
Yes.
Bye, Stephanie. Good to see you, girl. Love you.
And I always use Southern Ohio Prepping as an example on his channel. He doesn't slam other channels, neither does
Yeah.
Gil. I'm not interested. I don't have to have a large channel person know I'm in their side chat. That's
Mm,
not what it's about. I don't care if 10 people watch my videos or 50,000 people watch my videos. We're not in a competition, but we're also as well rounded grown ups. Okay. I do not have to push anyone down to lift myself up. I don't, but I'm not in a competition. I get excited when
right.
Tasha started growing vegetables in Oklahoma, in the heat, in a sandy, clay soil, right? With hella winds. And the woman is putting away green peppers like a boss. She might have thought, oh, I'll never be a good gardener. And she's rocking it. You know what I mean? So even if she only got put away 15 bell peppers, that's 15 she wouldn't have had to buy, right? And store. And thankfully, with a husband who's got a generator to keep a freezer running. So we all do the best we can with where we are. But and I like how Teresa said it, nobody's brought any negativity to her, and she's new here, and she'll shut them down if they do because it's
Amen.
poison.
Yeah.
We're here to help each other, not who has more. Now, look, Dave of Southern Ohio Prepping covets Vern's jars of split pea and ham soup. That just is what it is. That's just a general desire to have that amazing product. Okay. So, and Vern would actually share them with him. I'd be tackling him and going, no, no, he can't have those. But we're not in a competition with each other of who has more Patriots food supply. Ha ha, I have more canned meat than you. Ha ha, whatever. I have more Augustin farms. We're not in a competition. We're just trying to encourage each other.
Yeah.
And to say, I love these products, but I don't love this one, you know?
Yeah. Like, okay, I could be the person that lives on a coast in a coastal area and fishes like crazy and cooks and has a bajillion cooking recipes. I can still
Mhm.
support Miss Mouse over here who did a pan frying fish for beginners video and encourage her and be like, man, that recipe looks like it's the bomb. I'll have to try that
Mhm.
one, you know? You don't have to be in competition with people. This isn't a jealousy thing. I completely agree. Let's just encourage each other and love each other and help each other. And
Mhm.
help each other fill in the gaps where I'm not good at something and Mouse Toes is, and where she may not be as good at something and I am. That
Yes.
we need each other. We need each other. Okay?
Mhm.
We don't need people that are negative and hateful and discouraging, and we don't need people who are just trying to fearmonger us into doing things either. We need people who are positive, good influences who
Mhm.
will help us and encourage us and love on us.
Imagine if some of us were bummed up and go, oh, I got to go to Tasha's Wednesday chat, right? And oh, they're going to be negative and a bummer. And then somebody's going to tell me I'm stupid in the side chat. Who the hell
Mhm.
wants to go there? We're like, okay, I sit in my recliner and watch videos, right? Or edit my
Yeah,
own videos in my nice little leather recliner. I love that spot. That's my jam, right? But I'm not showing my face and it's dark over there, so I don't do it. But it is toxic to me. And then I think, oh my gosh, I love that channel. They just said something really mean. A man said something really mean to a female. whether it's a fishing chat that I'm in, I just kind of sit in the side chats and read and learn from my area what's working for other people.
Yeah.
And then it shocks me. And then that puts up a big box for me. I can forgive what you did, but I will never trust you.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. I might spit once, that's it. Okay, but I'll never trust you again. And when you think somebody's really nice and you see them ripping somebody new one in a side chat, whether it's a man or a woman to a man or the other way, I'm like, yeah, that's a little volatile personality because I'm not capable of hurting Tasha. I am not capable of making a snarky, nasty sarcasm is fun, okay? But we know when we're being sarcastic. But if you mean it with a knife, sarcasm can be the language of cowards.
Yeah.
So that's why we're always put laughing out loud, right? And I'm always telling Dave of Southern Ohio Prep, and I will pop a cap in you if you go into my pantry, right?
Because you're not serious. You're not seriously going to do anything like that. Is not a serious threat. It's just a joke, people.
Yes. But when you type something, there's no tone to it, so you don't know. And then people will go, oh, I saw so-and-so in the side chat and she said something mean. And they talk about it amongst themselves and like, why didn't you say, I think that was mean? It's just also crazy. So I'm very, very careful. But I'm not going to put anybody down. I appreciate anybody. Hillbilly's giving us great ideas. Oh my God, Morgan's a freaking genius. Okay, Threads and Jars. SOP does great reviews. Anything I've purchased from one of his reviews, because he's not getting any money for it, they have been quality products that last me. And I just really appreciate the knowledge that's out here. Sandra Moody is very uplifting, always.
Oh, yes. Yeah, everybody out here is so wonderful.
Yeah.
I just love each of y'all so much.
Yeah, we don't need turds in the side chat because we're not in a competition, I may go from here to a retired living place with a 1-bedroom and just be, playing a fishing game in my bathtub with my nurse with play fish. Who the hell knows? But y'all don't say she's not fishing, right? Maybe it's my mental thing. But so we're not making fun of anyone who is seriously depressed. We're just saying, like me as a person who does not have depression, when I get bummed or it's usually old and tired. I'm not really sad. I'm just old and I'm tired. And I've got the winter that I can do a whole lot of things inside where I don't want to be outside. And yes, Southern Ohio Prepper is a grumpy old man who's not even old. So I appreciate all the positivity and the encouragement that we've never, I'm on a lot of chats where, I'm just juicing trolls in the head. I'm just like, oh my God, I've never had a thought that vile, much less been able to type it out, So it's very nice.
All right, we're at over an hour, so I guess it's time to call it an evening. I want to thank each of you again. If you're struggling, please contact the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Seek help. Don't end your life. You are here for a purpose and a plan, okay? I love each of you. Reach out if you need anything. I appreciate each one of you. Thank you, Miss Mouse, for this fantastic conversation we had this last hour. I appreciate
I look forward to it.
Yes,
you are enough, Lori. Stay strong. You are enough.
You are. Absolutely. Love that. Stay strong. You are enough. And seek help if you need it, okay? All right. Thank y'all so much for watching. God bless. And please remember to prep for it. Prep for it all. And be kind to each other, folks, okay? And save this number. Save this number.